Good evening and thank you for joining us on TV47 Prime. We have a comprehensive lineup of the day's biggest stories. My name is Peter Kamau. Our sign interpreter is Catherine Simaloy. Let's get started. The Kibera Law Court on Tuesday directed that the 8 Utumishi Girls students facing charges linked to the deadly fire on 28 May 2026 be referred to as subject minors instead of suspects during legal proceedings. While issuing the ruling, Justice Diana Kavedza emphasized the need to protect the rights of children facing criminal proceedings. Elizabeth Atieno has the details.
Appearing before Justice Diana Kavedza at the Kibera Law Courts on Wednesday, the 8 pleaded not guilty to the murder of 16 students who lost their lives during the inferno.
The 8 of you, on the night of 27th, 28th of May 2026, at Utumishi Girls at Gilgil Sub-County within Nakuru, you jointly murdered Fortune Aimaya Losike. Subject 1, Subject 2, Subject 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The judge emphasized the need to protect the integrity of the trial, warning against trial by media, public pressure, and premature conclusions.
6, 7.
Additionally, the prosecution opposed the release of the subject minors on bail, arguing that there are compelling reasons to keep them in custody pending trial.
DPP will be seeking that the subjects do not be released.
The prosecution described the alleged offense as extremely serious, noting that 16 students lost their lives and that first responders continue to receive psychological support due to the traumatic nature of the incident. The state cited several reasons for opposing bail, including the risk of witness interference, the need for protective custody, the possibility of undermining public confidence in the administration of justice, as well as the risk of the accused absconding or reoffending. Lawyers representing the subject minors opposed the prosecution's applications and asked the court to grant bail, disputing the state's argument that there are compelling reasons to deny their release.
I would want to request the court to direct the prosecution to avail Chief Inspector Kamau. I ask him 5 questions and make brief submissions on this issue already.
The court has barred the subject minors from accessing phones, social media, and television after their lawyers told the court they were being bullied on social media. The court also directed that a pre-bail report be filed by the 22nd of September 2026 to guide its determination on whether the subject minors should be released on bail. Utumishi Girls Senior School in Gilgil will reopen on Thursday, more than a month after the devastating incident. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for that report. Now, the Ministry of Health has raised an alarm over the growing circulation of counterfeit medicines in the country, revealing that drugs used to treat HIV and AIDS, kidney failure and erectile dysfunction, commonly known as Viagra, are among those mostly commonly falsified. Speaking on Wednesday, Health Cabinet Secretary Edian Duale described substandard and falsified medicines as one of the country's most pressing public health threats, noting that the government is stepping up enforcement to curb the illegal trade. Andrin Kilemi reports.
Every day, thousands of Kenyans walk into pharmacies trusting that the medicine they live with will make them better. But health officials now warn that for some patients, that trust could be misplaced. Pharmacy and Poisons Board has revealed that counterfeit HIV drugs, drugs used in treating dialysis, as well as those used to treat erectile dysfunction, commonly known as Viagra, are infiltrating the Kenyan market.
I am shocked to see that we have fake HIV test kits in the market. You know what that means to our youth. We have very, very many fake P2.
Yes.
Yeah? And that means that you have our youth and girls who get unwanted pregnancies because the system has failed them.
Determined to dismantle what he described as a criminal medicines network, Health CS Aden Duale warned that tougher measures are on the way.
No more renting of your license. That I think, Kamau. You can't rent your license. You can't stay in Nairobi and your license is used in Turkana.
Duale further revealing that more than 2,000 medical products have already been removed from the market following a re-registration exercise as part of efforts to strengthen regulation and protect Kenyans from unsafe medicines.
Pharmacy and Poison Board, you have a constitutional, moral obligation to protect the citizens from falsified and substandard counterfeit medicines.
According to the World Health Organization, 1 in every 10 medical products in low and middle income countries is either substandard or falsified, while an estimated 267,000 people die across Africa every year from poor quality or counterfeit medicines. The government says its renewed crackdown will focus on dismantling criminal medicine networks, tightening regulation of pharmacies, and protecting Kenyans from the growing threat of counterfeit drugs. Andrine Kilemi, TV 47.
Thank you, Andrin Kilemi, for that report. Now, President William Ruto has revealed that securing loans from external lenders is becoming increasingly difficult. According to the head of state, lenders often subject African countries to conditions including the passage of sexuality laws before approving the loans they require. Stanley Nyaringita reports on Africa's call for increased investment in homegrown financial institutions.
In remarks that have renewed calls for African countries to reduce their reliance on foreign borrowing, President William Ruto has revealed that external loans often come with conditions that have little to do with development.
It is easy. Actually, it's not easy. It is difficult to go borrowing money from people. They subject you to all manner of things. You know, do this, go and pass this law. How about those things, what are those ones called? You go and pass the sexuality laws, go and do this, go and do this.
While hosting delegates attending the 26th Annual General Meeting of the African Trade and Investment Development Insurance, ATD, at State House, Nairobi, Ruto further underscored ATD's role in supporting more than $7 billion in investments across Kenya's energy, transport, manufacturing, agriculture and trade sectors.
African countries can achieve when they work together with a common purpose and shared ambition. And this Silver Jubilee therefore gives us an opportunity not only to celebrate institutional progress, but also to reflect on the partnership, trust and collective commitment that have sustained ATD's journey over the years.
We have seen you in action in all the forums, either at the African Union, at the United Nations, and any forum in TICAD. Everywhere you are advocating for our institutions. We say African financial institutions need to be supported, and you are leading from the front.
President William Ruto also pledged to allocate land to the institution for the establishment of its headquarters in Kenya, in a move aimed at positioning Nairobi as a continental hub for trade and investment. African trade leaders are now calling on more countries to join the institution, which currently has 24 member states, in a bid to boost investment and deepen economic integration across the continent. Stanley Nyaringita, TV 47.
In other news, the Auditor General has raised fresh concerns over the management of public land, citing widespread irregularities across national and county governments. Nancy Gadongo says audit reports continue to expose institutions occupying land without ownership documents, as well as cases of encroachment on public property. The revelations came during the launch of the National Land Commission's Guide on Land Use and Management on Plans. Mike Kagwongo reports.
The Auditor General has sounded the alarm over persistent irregularities in the management of public land, warning that weak governance continue to expose public assets to loss.
You will find land that is earmarked by an individual for development. A county can come in and acquire that land, either forcibly or by convincing the individual that they need that land. Then it takes years to compensate that individual for the private land.
Nancy Gadongo says the 2024-2025 audit found that 11 county governments had occupied land without ownership documents, with some constructing hospitals, ECD centers and TVET institutions on untitled land.
And similarly, in the same year, 11 ministries, departments and agencies and 3 constitutional commissions also held land without ownership documents. Some of the land already has buildings on it, and you find the same in state corporations, where several institutions do not have title deeds, do not have transfer documents or other legal records to confirm ownership of land. And this has been an issue I've been raising even with the National Land Commission and the State Department, and that's why the CEO talked about it earlier.
She also cited an increasing number of cases of encroachment on public land and conflicts between government agencies over land use, saying the disputes continue to waste public resources and delay development.
Counties also want to implement their own development projects, but where there is lack of clarity on who owns the land and who is responsible for which development aspect that we need for economic growth, then you find that there are conflicts. So every now and then I have to go in and do an audit, either a special audit or as a focus area.
National Land Commission Chairperson Dr. Abdullahi Sagaf urged all public institutions to prepare land use and management plans to curb land grabbing and improve accountability. According to Commissioner Esther Madenge, the new guide will strengthen coordinated planning and the sustainable management of public land.
So as a commission, we decided we needed to have guidelines so that we can give them to all the public institutions that own land, to show them how they need to plan it and how they even need to account for whatever land that they have.
We are going to be more planful, and more planful leads to environmental protection.
The guide will now form part of future audit assessments for all public institutions. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mike Kagwango, for that report. Now, tonight, Nairobi County is staring at a looming financial crisis after members of the County Assembly failed to approve the 2026-2027 budget by the June 30th deadline as required by law. Sources at City Hall familiar with the negotiations to break the deadlock claim that a section of MCAs are demanding 10 million shillings each before approving the budget. However, as Apollo Kamau reports, the MCAs say their stand is driven by unanswered questions, pending bills, and their inability to secure an audience with Governor Johnson Sakaja.
Nairobi City County has begun the 2026-2027 financial year without an approved budget of 46.9 billion shillings, following a stalemate between Governor Johnson Sakaja and members of the County Assembly, a deadlock that threatens to disrupt key county operations. Sources familiar with behind-the-scenes negotiations aimed at breaking the impasse allege that a section of the MCAs demanded 10 million shillings each. One insider, who declined to be identified, claimed the budget process had turned into a bargaining chip as some MCAs prepared for what could be their final term in office ahead of next year's general election.
His Excellency.
However, a section of MCAs who also declined to speak on camera but were backed by Embakasi East MP Babu Owino dismissed the allegations. Instead, they accused Governor Sakaja of failing to meet them to address outstanding concerns over the budget estimates, including a proposed 6.9 billion shillings loan, pending bills, and stalled ward development projects.
There are certain things that the governor was sneaking inside the budget. Number one, a loan of 6.92 billion Kenya shillings that he was sneaking without proper procedure. That loan alone does not show what it will be spent on. MCAs were lied to that 2.8 billion will be used on ward development programs. But indeed, there is nothing to show. There is no evidence to show that that loan will be used on anything. Number two, the school feeding program, the 1 billion was always allocated as a recurrent expenditure. Expenditure spent on a day-to-day basis, which was good enough. But in this budget, he has sneaked it in as part of development, which means that that 1 billion that used to be put for development is going to be stolen.
While attending the third Joint Steering Committee meeting on the implementation of the National Government Nairobi County Cooperation Agreement, chaired by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Governor Sakaja downplayed the budget stalemate. Instead, he presented a progress report on the implementation of resolutions adopted during the committee's April 7 meeting as the implementation team races against time ahead of next year's general election.
On the rivers program, there's great progress. We are getting them additional space. The contractor is really moving. I think right now the Grogon area is where we are focusing on, and Globe roundabout, but they've come now going upstream. We demarcated the riparian where people are clearing. Fortunately, there's a lot of willingness for people to move from these areas. The target remains January 15th of 2027 to have concluded the entire program.
Under Section 134 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Standing Order 227 of the Nairobi City County Assembly, the Assembly may authorize a vote on account, allowing the withdrawal of up to 50% of the county's estimated expenditure from the County Revenue Fund to ensure essential government services continue until the appropriation law is passed. Kamau, TV47.
A new performance scorecard is out, reshaping how Kenyans view their elected leaders in the Senate, the National Assembly, and among women representatives. Some familiar names have climbed the rankings, while others have fallen out of favor. TV47's Faith Wangari has the details.
We start with the Senate, where Kirinyaga Senator Kamau Murango leads the pack with 69%, followed by Nyandaro's John Methu and Muranga's Joel Nyutu. Notably, veteran lawmakers Boni Halwale and Fatuma Dulo have both dropped from their previous high rankings. In the National Assembly, Embakasi East MP Babu Owino tops the list with a score of 80%, the highest rating of any legislator in this cycle.
Secret is God. In everything that you do, God. Because you can still deliver, but it's not recognized. But if you deliver and God opens up the hearts of the people to accept your services, then we give it to Him. So first is God. Number two is about you as an individual. What vision do you have? As I said, what vision do you have? Are you on a mission to destroy the lives of the constituents who elected you? Or are you having a vision to transform the lives of those who elected you for better?
Closing behind him is Kabuchai MP Joseph Kalasinga, followed by Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro, who has remained among the top four for a second consecutive cycle. Taveta MP Job Wire rounds out the top four.
This info track is a researcher. I have no contact in the research firm. I don't know anybody in the research firm. They ask the people, and today here I'm grounded as number 2. The previous one, I was number 3. Number 1 was Babu, number 2 was Honorable Nyoro, and number 3 was myself. I have worked hard to beat Nyoro. I'm working hard, I want to beat Babu. Thank you, Honorable Babu.
However, it's not just about who's climbed the rankings. The list also tracks those who have fallen. Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi, Bahati MP Kimani Ngunjiri have all dropped out of the top ranks this year. Among women representatives, Kirinyaga's Jane Jerry Maina retains the top spot for a second consecutive cycle with a score of 67%, while West Pokot's Rael Chepkemoi and Samburu's Pauline Lengurus round out the top 3.
I want to thank my family and my support system, my constituents, for the encouragement and also for always cheering me on, and also my critics, because the critics also keep us on our toes, especially when it is constructive and not personal. I also appreciate, and may they continue so that they continue seeing me winning.
What's clear from this year's scorecard is that the performance is no longer about statistics. Lawmakers who once topped the rankings are now fighting to remain relevant. Faith Wangari, TV47.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Faith Wangari, for that report. Now, investigations into the tragic shooting of a political mobilizer, Cecil Ouma, at Parklands have intensified today as 7 witnesses, including Principal Secretary for Youth Affairs Fikirini Jacob's bodyguards, recorded vital statements at Pangani Police Headquarters. This report was filed by Athman Said.
29-year-old Cecil Ouma was fatally shot on Tuesday evening after police attempted to disperse a group that had allegedly confronted and attacked a senior government official as he left a public event. A dispute allegedly over 167 Kenyan shillings is said to have sparked the commotion that preceded the shooting. Ouma, political mobilizer, was found with a gunshot wound to the ribs and rushed to hospital. The mobilizer had attended a youth empowerment program in Karioko, where he met the senior government official, with eyewitnesses now claiming the incident began after a group of youths asked the official for a tip.
Niliona PA ndiye alitoka mahali alikuwa amekaa akakuja kuongea na vijana. PA wake ambaye anaitwa Felix. PA akakuja kuongea na yeye na PA wa PS alipoongea na vijana alielezea vijana anataka mtoe viongozi.
The youths alleged that the government official agreed to give them money and that Cecil, being a well-known mobilizer, was chosen alongside 2 others to accompany him to his vehicle to collect it.
Bodyguard alifukuza kila mtu. Akasema sasa kuongea na kila mtu, nataka kuongea na hao peke yao au ma leaders. Akaongea nao ma leaders, kumaliza na kidogo PS akamaliza shughuli yake. PS sasa anatoka. Bodyguard akasema mtu asihangu kwa gari, mfungulie PS aende kwa amani, mtupe tu kiongozi. Ndio after kutoka akasema hatutaweza kubeba hao watu wote, hao watu watatu wote. Mtupeni mtu mmoja. Akapewa huyo mwenye waleua, huyo Cecil Ouma.
Ouma is said to have returned with 10,000 Kenyan shillings, an amount the group of about 60 youths alleged was too little to share.
Itatosha. Vijana wakasema hapana, mrudishieni hiyo pesa ili turudi kwa nyumba bila pesa, then ulete hiyo pesa hapa vijana waanze kupigana hapo, watauana hapa bure. Rudishia huyo jamaa pesa. Sasa ile kurudisha pesa, bodyguard akafunga mlango ya PS. After kufunga mlango ya PS, sasa akaingia ndani, akafunga mlango.
The youths claim they followed the official's vehicle on foot, expecting Ouma to return with a larger handout. However, upon reaching Outer Ring Road, they say a commotion erupted around the vehicle.
In fact, one of us, ule rasta, akaenda kwa kio, akasema akaambia PS, tafadhali ushukishe tu jamaa badala umpige hapo ndani. Sasa akang'ana akateremsha kio na ile baton ya dirisha. Akatoka nje akasema, bro, hao watu wamenigeuzia hapa ndani.
Witnesses further allege that during the chaos, Ouma sustained a gunshot wound. The circumstances surrounding the shooting remain under investigation.
Angalia hivi amki, sio akarudi chini. Sasa watu wakaanza commotion ya kwamba PS, mbona unapiga mtu risasi? Mbona unapiga mtu risasi? Huyo bodyguard akatoka nje akapiga risasi juu. Watu wakimbia, jami kafunguka. PS akatoka na gari akaingia Pangani Police Station. Tulipofuata gari yake pale Police Station Pangani, tukapata kama already ashaingia pale, aka-incite maskari wote wakatoka na tear gas nje na marungu hapo nje ya Police Station.
The circumstances surrounding the shooting remain under investigation.
In other news, former Kenyatta University Vice-Chancellor Professor Olive Mugenda and Professor Paul Wainaina will now be required to appear before a parliamentary committee to respond to audit queries that reveal the loss of about 6.2 billion shillings in various projects undertaken during their tenure. The committee seeks to ascertain the authenticity and effectiveness of the expenditure, establish whether approvals were transparent and free from conflict of interest, and determine whether value for money was achieved in all expenditure incurred. This follows a special audit commissioned by the National Assembly's Public Investments Committee on Governance and Education, chaired by Luanda MP Dick Maungu. The audit was necessitated by an earlier examination of Kenyatta University's books by the Auditor General, with clear terms of reference covering the analysis of budgeting and procurement for all stalled projects.
An approved capital work in progress, about 12 projects totaling to 733 million,
589,833. That is in violation of PFM Act 2012, sections 87(1). 2 was a regular Kigali campus establishment. You are aware that no feasibility study was carried out, and the sum of Kenya shillings 511,144,181. And this was done without the council involvement and without any feasibility study carried. 3, we have unsupported KU Children's Hospital expenditure, totaling to around 525 million.
Out of the special audit report, out of a special audit report, I've not seen anything to do with the KU RAD, and it was a contentious issue when we visited the scene. There was a big chunk of RAD which was taken by a purported small owners, as we call them, squatters, kind of slums or something like that. And then there was another section which was taken by very rich squatters, as we may call them, because they had storage buildings and well manicured rooms and so on. So I expected that one to have been captured because it was one of the issues which we had raised, unless we are washing it under the carpet.
Secretariat, as we talk about the former VC, it's important that even the former procurement officer, how many do you have before you during this period in question?
We had 2. We had head of procurement, and we had a deputy. No, we had 2 managers. One was handling projects.
Elsewhere, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening infrastructure for the benefit of citizens as development projects continue to be launched and implemented across different parts of the country. Earlier today, senior government officials, including principal secretaries from various ministries, conducted an inspection of ongoing government projects in Nairobi. The projects included the Affordable Housing Program, Modern Markets, and the Nairobi River Restoration Initiative. This report has been prepared by Maluse Meshak. The government has reaffirmed its commitment to completing all ongoing development projects on schedule despite challenges affecting some of the key initiatives. Officials from the Nairobi River Commission say the Nairobi River Restoration Project continues to face hurdles, including the relocation of residents living along the riverbanks and prolonged court cases that have slowed its implementation.
You look at the market, moving Kikomba, people have been in a very precarious places. They are almost moving towards to the new area because the construction of the market is going on, and in very short while you will see a change.
We are not just doing housing alone. We are doing a complete urban renewal. This is part of Eastland's master plan regeneration, which hopes begins with the river, and you have seen that we are putting together a 54-kilometer trunk sewer line.
The government maintains that the projects, which include the Affordable Housing Program, the Nairobi River Restoration Initiative, and the construction of modern markets, remain a priority under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda aimed at improving the livelihoods of Kenyans.
I can see very, very close collaboration between government and the people who are living around here. The citizens of Nairobi are very supportive, and we want to urge them to continue supporting government.
Affordable housing program, it's got two phases. The first phase about 4,500 units, and then we have got another 1,200 for social housing.
Earlier on Wednesday, senior government officials, including principal secretaries from various ministries, toured several development projects across Nairobi to assess their implementation and monitor their progress. Now, older people often find themselves living in loneliness, but in Dumberi, Kiambu County, senior citizens have found a new family, a place where they gather every day to weave baskets, make beadwork, sing, laugh, and most importantly, feel valued once again. Susan Locho brings us this story of hope and resilience.
These are voices of laughter that hide stories of pain, loneliness, and lives that had once lost hope. These women now have a place to call home, where they gather to weave baskets, make beadwork, and most importantly, share life together.
Na kunywanga chai, mkate, madazi, kila tunakunywanga.
It all began with Wanjiko, who was raised by her grandmother. After witnessing the challenges faced by many elderly people, she started inviting them to her home, where they could learn handcrafts, build lasting friendships, and find a sense of belonging.
Sasa my question is, wazazi, mbona nisiwashike, niwasaidie, waweze kupata at least wa feel love.
Today, these elderly women gather every day, saying activities help relieve stress and bring them joy. They say that when they remain isolated, they easily fall sick.
Hapa ni vizuri kwa sababu mimi nakuja na maneno yangu, napatia huyu anapatia yake, tunakuwa free. Alafu ukikaa nyumbani utakuwa mgonjwa. Kwa sababu unafikiria.
Margaret Njeri is one of them. After losing her brothers and with her sister married far away, she was left all alone. Unable to bear children, loneliness became her daily companion. But now, she has found people she can once again call family.
Tulikuwa na wamama wengine, akaniweka kwa hii kikundi ya Duberi, nikakuwa tunakujaga kushona kitu, ndio anatupatia kitu kidogo tunakula.
Nancy Waitherero, a 110-year-old freedom fighter during the Mau Mau struggle, has found joy in singing and weaving baskets alongside her fellow members. However, a shortage of raw materials and the low income they earn from selling their product remains a major challenge.
Kuna wenye wako na watoto wameingia kwa drugs. Kuna wenye wako na watoto they left, wamepata pesa wakawa hawataki kusumbuliwa na wazazi. Kuna wengine watoto wao walifariki wakati wa corona na ukiangalia wameachiwa wajukuu.
For the founder, however, success is not measured by money. She says the main goal is to give these elderly people a place where they can love, connect with others, and overcome loneliness. Sometimes being rescued isn't just from poverty, but from loneliness and being forgotten. We also learn that growing old isn't becoming invisible, because to these grannies, every woven basket and every bead is a reminder that they matter. Susan Locho for TV47, Dumberi, Kiambu County.
Let's take a short commercial break on TV47 Prime. I'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimeekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me.
Nitumie ni live. Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea. The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero make a beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas. No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environment.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat. It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here? Yes. You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi. And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environment.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat. It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Welcome back, you're watching TV47 Prime. Now, Amnesty International has released a new report documenting widespread human rights violations in Sudan. The report accuses the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, of committing atrocities and unlawful killings in El Fasher, North Darfur State. According to Amnesty International, RSF attacks deliberately targeted civilians based on their ethnicity, resulting in mass casualties and forcing thousands to flee their homes. The organization concludes that the RSF committed war crimes in El Fasher and surrounding areas between early mid-2024 and late 2025. Amnesty International has called for an immediate ceasefire in Sudan and stressed the need for an international force to protect civilians.
We have no doubt that what is being described, including crimes against humanity of extermination, persecution on the basis of ethnicity and gender, some of the crimes committed may constitute genocidal crimes.
There is one thing that remains common. There is a common denominator: civilian suffering. Parties to the conflicts are specifically targeting civilians, including, as we have included in this report, on ethnic lines. And therefore, civilians are going to continue to bear the brunt of the conflict, and thus our recommendations for ceasefire and a peacekeeping force.
For years, they called it Zombie Street, a name born from the devastation alcohol inflicted on those who walked it. Tonight, that street is telling a different story. Faith Wangari brings us the story of the officer credited with turning it around.
It's been exactly 1 month and 6 days since TV47 first aired the story Suluhu wa Kabarnet, a report that captured the remarkable transformation spearheaded by one officer of the law on a street once infamously known as Zombie Street, so named because of the devastating effects alcohol had on the people who lived and worked there.
Nasema kwanza nashtuka kwa sababu
ulikuwa unafikiria kuna mtu amegojekea sel.
Today, Kabarnet Officer Commanding Stations Shamsa Abedi has been formally recognized by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority for taking the fight against alcoholism head-on and reclaiming the social well-being of a community that had for years been losing ground to illicit brews. The recognition came during a ceremony at Kabarnet Police Station where IPOA Commissioner Boniface Samati Kimboi made it clear that this was more than just another commendation.
Madam Suluhu amefanya kupigana na pombe na kudili na raia kwa njia mzuri. Amepigana na pombe at the same time achafinya raia.
Kimboi praised Abedi's leadership as exemplary, citing her dedication to duty and unwavering commitment to the people of Kabarnet as a standard worthy of emulation.
Leo kufanya kazi mzuri, tunakutakia kila laheri kwa kazi yako. Sisi askari akikosea, tunamwambia amekosea. Lakini akifanya kazi mzuri, tunamwambia kongole. So leo siku hapa mambo ya kongole.
The commissioner pointed to the tangible impact of enforcement efforts, fewer alcohol-related crimes, reduced public disorder, and a community that had long been held hostage by illicit alcohol slowly regaining its footing. He also credited her for working closely with local administrators, community leaders, and other stakeholders to build a united front against the menace. For OCS Abedi, the recognition was both humbling and gratifying.
It's an encouragement, and I hope my colleagues in the entire Republic will see this and they'll get motivated for us to perform our duties diligently, sir.
She thanked IPOA but was quick to note that the work is far from over. She pledged that the intelligence-led operations will continue, community policing will be strengthened, and the focus will remain on protecting the most vulnerable, especially the youth, from a cycle of alcohol abuse that has claimed far too many young lives in the town.
We had to identify the problem within the community, and then we sat down as stakeholders. We met with everyone in the society. And then we made a resolution. And then from there, we called those who were concerned, we talked, and then from there, we started enforcing the law.
Residents and local leaders have echoed those sentiments, pointing to visible improved public order on the streets that for years had become lawless after dark.
Stesheni zingine watu wanapiga polisi kupokonya pombe, wananchi wa Kabarnet wanasaidia polisi kushika pombe. So we are very grateful to wananchi. Ni vile sasa hakuna structure ya kuaward wananchi. Lakini sasa tutajua vile tutafanya.
We are telling this office commander, it is wonderful, it has been good, it resonates very well with the thinking of the parents, of the teaching force, and of the union.
And from us here at TV47, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to Shamsa Abedi for exceptional service and the kind of leadership that not only enforces the law, but also restores the community's faith in it. Faith Wangare, TV47.
In other news, a suspected serial car thief, George Kimani Wanjohi, is dead following a dramatic high-speed chase and a shootout with detectives in the Mogai Inn area along Juja Kenyatta Road. Detectives caught up with the suspect just meters from his home, where the confrontation turned violent amid reports that an angry crowd also descended on him. TV47's Modoni Brenda reports.
The man breaks into the vehicle for the second time. But this time around, he reverses the vehicle KBR 115E before driving off with it. And that is how the vehicle registration number KBR 115E was stolen. Exactly 4 months after TV47 aired an exclusive investigation into a suspected serial carjacker who allegedly stole a vehicle outside a church in Thika, the suspect is now dead. George Kimani Wanjohi was shot dead on Monday morning, following what witnesses described as a dramatic pursuit by detectives. According to eyewitnesses, the incident began at a petrol station along Kenyatta Road, where Wanjohi had allegedly parked another suspected stolen vehicle, an old model Toyota Vitz.
Abebwa na bike kutoka pali anaishi, akaenda ikamdrop hapo K-Road hapo Shell. Sasa venye ilimdrop, sio bike yake left. Sasa tukisikia kama alikuwa anangojewa hapo.
The witness says Wanjohi quickly realized he was being tailed by DCI detectives. He allegedly jumped into the vehicle and sped off, triggering a high-speed chase along Kenyatta Road. A double cab pickup carrying DCI officers pursued him as a shootout between Wanjohi and the DCI detectives ensued.
I think I realized kuna wase nikawa namfuata. Sasa ndo hapo vurugu ikaanza hapo. Sija katoka na gari mbio nikaa na hepa. Gari kapigwa risasi ya mguu, bado akaendelea tu kuenda.
The hot pursuit lasted about 7 minutes before ending just meters from Wanjohi's home.
Wadi muonga hiyo rand kurusa hivi, kumrusha saidi ya pale kwa mtaro ndio asitoke hivi. Kauri muongeza risasi hapo, juu alikuwa amejaa damu, mpaka hiyo kiti yake ilikuwa imejaa damu. Alikuwa na kagani kadogo ka silver size hivi, alikuwa hapo kiti mbele.
It is here that detectives are said to have rammed the Toyota Vitz from the side, bringing the high-speed chase to an end.
Surround gari kwanza. Ni kama walikuwa wanachukua nini, kama kuna watu wengine ndani, kama kwa peke yake. Wako karibia on the spot. Walizunguka hivi kwa kama wameweka wako chonjo, yani asimove. Naona ni kama waliona huyu jamaa venye amekaa. Sasa walikuwa wanazunguka hivi wakiangalia kama kuna watu wengine ndani, kama kwa peke yake, unaona.
What followed attracted scores of boda riders and residents to the scene. Witnesses say an angry crowd attempted to lynch the suspect as detectives struggled to secure the area.
So at the time kusema tu ni kufungua hiyo mlango, watu wa boda wamefika. Wameingia hapo na kifua wote. So hata ndio wanataka sijui kumchoma ama hadi kumuua zaidi. Unaona sasa DC wakaijaribu kupiga marisasi juu kudisperse watu people. Ndio waweza kufanya kazi ya. Lakini watu walikuwa wengi na walikuwa na hasira. So ilikuwa ngumu. Kwa sababu walikuwa wanampiga mangumi hivi DC wanajaribu, unaona. So ile kitu walikuwa wanajaribu kupiga risasi juu. Na venye watu walikuwa wanapiga risasi juu, watu wako wanaondoka.
And as the crowd grew more agitated, Wanjohi remained utterly silent.
Angeweza kupotea hata kidogo, hata angeweza kujidefend. Unaona dipisto yake aliwacha kwa hiyo kiti ya kadere, ilikuwa tu hapo.
Alikuwa na bleed sana.
Nai, si nguo zilikuwa zinakaa maji damu. Na hiyo si damu ya kupigwa na raia, ni ya risasi. Mimi naona ange survive. Hata kama mob ingempiga, jamaa venye alikuwa amepigwa hiyo risasi, ingeona venye ange survive. Venye ilionekana ni ngumu, DCI wakaona wamrushe saidi ya nyuma, ndio ilikuwa juu. Ile kufungua mlango na watu ni wengi, commotion iko hapo, ilikuwa very high. Kupiga risasi bado ikusaidia juu watu wako wanatoka. So wakamrusha saidi ya nyuma na wakamfunika. Ni kama walikuwa wanaona ni kama kwa karibu kuenda, unaona. So kufika pale kuna gari ilipigiwa simu, I think ni mkubwa wao, unaona, because walikuja na gari. Sasa ni kama Subaru, gari kikubwa wewe. Venye tu waliongea nao pale wakarudi. Kamrushanisha pale. Alikuwa ashakufa.
Officers from the nearby Muigai Inn police station arrived minutes later and removed Wanjohi's body from the scene. TV47's efforts to obtain a comment from police commanders in Juja were unsuccessful. Beyond the alleged church parking theft highlighted in TV47's investigation, Wanjohi had previously been arrested by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in January 2024 over the alleged theft of a Toyota Fielder. Court records also indicate that he had a pending case before the Makadara Law Courts, where he faced charges related to the alleged theft of a Toyota Probox. What has surprised many is that despite the allegations against him, Wanjohi was well known to residents along Kenyatta Road. He was said to worship at the Pentecostal Evangelistic Fellowship of Africa PEFA Church, where some members of the community described him as a familiar face. Boda riders in the area also say they knew him well.
Kulipa bike ana shida ya kulipa bike. Unapata maybe hadi anakutii, pesa na hadi pechwani analipa so. Unajua mwizi tu ni mwizi. Unapafaa pia ujieke kwa
As the old adage goes, a thief has 40 days, but the 41st belongs to the law. For George Kimani Wanjohi, the countdown ended in a fatal confrontation. Modhani Brenda for TV47 from the Juja police station in Kiambu County.
Thank you, Modhani Brenda, for that report. Now, the second group of Kenyans evacuated from South Africa is expected to arrive at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport at 10 p.m. tonight. According to Principal Secretary for Diaspora Affairs, Roslyn Njogu, the group comprises 63 Kenyans, with another batch expected to arrive on Wednesday. The repatriation follows recent xenophobic attacks in parts of South Africa that forced many foreign nationals to flee. Our reporter, Stanley Nyaringita, is live at JKIA with the latest. Stanley, if you can hear me, what's the latest from JKIA?
Well, a very good evening to you, Peter. It is a chilly evening here at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Right now, I am at Terminal 1, which is the departure, and for the other side is a departure, and for this side is the arrivals for the international. And we're going to be having this, passengers, 63 Kenyans repatriated from South Africa, expected to arrive at around 10:05. We were tracking this flight. It is actually expect to arrive around 10:07 p.m., a few minutes to that particular time. It is flight KQ763, and it left Johannesburg at around 5:35 p.m. This, as you rightfully said, is the second group of Kenyans who actually arrived into the country. And according to PS for Diaspora Affairs, that is Roslyn Njogu, another group is expected to arrive tomorrow, which on Thursday as well, and we're also going to be seeing how this will be developing. Remember, according to the PS, saying that about 200 Kenyans have been have registered so that they can actually be repatriated. However, the PS said this is a very small fraction of the number of Kenyans who are actually living and working in South Africa. That number, the whole number, being 27,000. So for tonight, it is emotions galore as friends and family members just waiting for, again, their friends and family who are going to be arriving this evening at around 10:07 p.m. We're going to be pitching camp here. We're going to be talking to, this friends and the family members. So far, I've been walking around here just to sample the number of people who are here who are actually waiting for them. So far, we haven't actually met any of them. I think a number of them from London and other places, but we will be pitching here just to see, and other government officials who will be here and what will be happening. As the first group arrived, the protocol will be the same. They'll, come in, they'll touch down, they'll be debriefed, and then they'll also receive psychological support of actually what has happened before they can actually meet and interact with their family members. Peter Kamau, that is so far what we have as of now at GKIA here in Nairobi. Back to you. We'll be updating you more as the situation unfolds.
For that report, Stanley Nyaringita will continue monitoring the situation to bring our viewers any developments as they emerge. Now, moving on, the International Commission of Jurists, ICJ, the East Africa Law Society and several other organizations have raised alarm over persistent reports of deprivation of liberty and denial of due process affecting multiple individuals in Uganda. In a joint statement, the group also expressed grave concern over the continuing disruption of operations at Nation Media Group Uganda, including NTV Uganda, Spark TV, and the Daily Monitor. They said reports indicate the suspension of broadcasting operations and deployment of security personnel at media premises, actions the organizations say undermine press freedom and the public's right to information. The bodies further criticized what they termed military interference in civilian authority, warning that such practices erode constitutional governance and weaken democratic institutions. They urged Ugandan authorities to restore adherence to the rule of law and respect for constitutional safeguards.
These developments
implicate the foundational pillars of constitutional governance, personal liberty, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, and the independence of the legal profession. They present a continuing situation requiring urgent cessation by responsible Ugandan authorities.
We further note the absence of any publicly disclosed directive and/or order from the Uganda Communications Commission authorizing such actions on closure. Thus, the military is in clear usurpation of powers. The question that now beckons is whether Uganda is a democracy or it has since transformed to military state governed by the military junta.
It's time for business news. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has urged African countries to confront tariff escalations that favors raw commodity exports over processed products. Speaking at the Dialogue Forum in Nairobi, Kagwe said punitive tariffs on value-added exports undermine industrialization, job creation, and farmers' incomes. He called for greater local processing, affordable agro-processing equipment, and financing models tailored to agriculture to boost competitiveness and attract young people into farming.
Requires us to confront uncomfortable truths. It requires us to seek and to ask ourselves whether the global agricultural financing truly serves the farmer or merely the financial system. It requires us to examine whether international trade rules generally reward value addition or continue to encourage developing countries to export raw commodities while importing finished products at many times the value of what they export. It requires us to question whether our research institutions are producing innovations that reach the farm or simply publications that remain on our shelves. And indeed, it requires us to ask whether technology is simplifying the life of the farmer or merely modernizing bureaucracy. These are not comfortable questions. These are necessary questions. Because every policy that fails the farmer ultimately fails food security. Here in Kenya, we have chosen to make the farmer the starting point of agricultural transformation.
Elsewhere, regional collaboration in the agri-food sector is gaining momentum as governments, private sector players and development partners deepen partnerships aimed at accelerating value addition across Africa. The renewed focus is expected to strengthen agro-processing, expand market opportunities for farmers, encourage technology transfer and create jobs by supporting local manufacturing, food processing and stronger regional value chains.
I think to be here, creating partnership between Italian producer and Kenyan producer. So not just to offer machinery for the food production, but in order to share contents, best practices, involve not only the industry, but the academia, the students, researchers, to create a very great connection, creating value for both parties.
The best product in the best packaging, in the best solution to have a good shelf of life.
The Kenya International Freight and Warehousing Association has rolled out a digital marine cargo insurance platform ahead of the mandatory marine cargo insurance requirements that took effect on July 1st, 2026. Developed with insurance partners and integrated with government payment and customs systems, the platform enables instant certificate issuance, premium payment and verification to speed up cargo clearance. Kifwa said nationwide training and technical support for clearing and forwarding agents will continue over the next year.
Insurance premiums for a country of Kenya's import volume are not trivial sums. Their retention locally is meaningful contribution to the exchange rate stability.
The days of fragmented manual processes are giving way to seamless digital experience
That gives importers, clearing agents and regulators confidence that every certificate issued is genuine, traceable, and fully compliant with the law. Maybe on the law, I will still also remind us, the Act of Parliament that we are relying on, the Marine Cargo Insurance Act, was first amended in 2002. The government, it was first enacted in 2002. Its amendment happened in 2017. We all know there has been a big challenge in trying to enforce the digital marine cargo.
Elsewhere, the National Bank of Kenya and Centum Real Estate have entered into a strategic partnership aimed at making home ownership more accessible through flexible property financing solutions. The partnership will enable Kenyans to access financing for home purchases, land acquisition, and construction under tailored mortgage plans. The lenders say the initiative is designed to reduce financial barriers to property ownership by offering flexible payment options that match customers' financial capacity. The collaboration is expected to expand access to affordable housing finance while supporting more Kenyans to invest in property.
Is the future of Mombasa. We are developing a 10,000-acre master planned city anchored by industrial activities. And this partnership here is going to provide the engine for supporting our investors and giving us the financing that we need.
What Centum has done over the years in terms of property development and industrial scale of developments, and then the vehicle in this region, the Vipingo Limited, what we are doing here today creates an opportunity for us to work with you together. We have customers, you have the know-how. We have the history, you also have the credibility that we require to associate with. You played a significant role in the transformation of the housing sector, commercial developments, and also in terms of research that leads us to knowing that when we work with you, we are going to be able to create sustainable value.
So today, as you sign the MOU with National Bank of Kenya and your good sales, I can tell you it's an MOU that is signed in gold and would basically impact the lives of Kenyans as you develop your city.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me. Nitumie ni line.
Uko nje kuna Wi-Fi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea. The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition.
Booyah!
We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat. It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here? Yes. You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system, ni venye tu ni system haisikizi. And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Cup FIFA 2026, England have overcome DR Congo to secure their place in the next round with a composed performance. And that's where we wrap up TV47 Prime tonight. My name is Peter Kamau. Our sign interpreter is Catherine Simoloi. It's been a pleasure having with you, and from the entire TV47 Primetime team, we say have yourself a pleasant night.